but it's really good. And so this is going to be very public because I wasn't planning to sing. But we were with Alex and McKillop for a number of years, and then we were away in Saskatchewan for quite a few years, and then came back and reconnected with him through this church. And that was a joy as well listening today. And so this is a bit of his wisdom that made quite a difference in our family. A number of years ago, my wife Susan's with me here today on Bill. My brother, who lives in another city, said to me that he and his wife were going to get divorced after they'd been married for about 10 years. So what? And so we thought, as I think you referred to earlier, Frank, better talk to Alex. So we went over, and my theme going in was, how do we fix this? Like, this can't happen. We've got to do what we can to have this not happen. And his wisdom showed, and his advice was very simple. He just said, you can't fix it, you just have to support them both. And eyes opened up, and they were a childless couple, but anyway, they did get this divorce, and we did do as he said, and they both went on to very happy marriages with other people and kids, and life worked out. And so Alex was.
Thank you.
Other pieces of that. Edgar, calling on you now. This is it. We also planted this. At least Carol has worked out some of the folks that are going to do this.
I don't need the mic.
Oh, can you hear
When dear Carol asked me on the email or telephone, I responded immediately, and it was, of course I will, for Alex, for the family. It's great to see you and everyone here. But it was, would you recite a poem or something, or tell a little story? And of course I picked up this 106-year-old book, Burns. So it may have been in the home where he grew up in Scotland. Likely have been on the bookshelf. And I don't know what poem in this book is Alex's favorite, but I immediately thought of My Heart's in the Highlands. I suppose he had some favorites of Burns's?
Oh yeah.
They were, or could we not say?
Maybe all of them.
And just three little things too before I read it. From 1995 until 2001, my wife Alice and I were next door in the duplex, Park's house. And so we were close to the church, and I think we had already associated ourselves with the United Church because I grew up in the United Church in Prince Edward Island. But from our pillow in the morning, perhaps in June or July, Alice and I would be lying on our pillow with the window open, listening to Alex whistling down the alley. And he would have the most melodious strong whistle. What were the songs, if I could just bring them back? And then perhaps a time or two, and others may have experienced it, from the Bear's Hump with the pipes. Now how special is that for this valley and for everyone in it? The Highland Pipes. And then of course right here in the church, Alice and I got married in April 6, 96, like Ben and Lisa. And that's a special honor that we'll cherish forever. And in the photos that friends took, there's lots of pictures of Alex, and that's great. And also, piping in the haggis on January the 25th. For many years, the Parks Canada Warden Service, they started it, and it's carried through to this day on January the 25th with the resource conservation and other functions. Get together on the cold days of January, and we had the piping of Alex on numerous occasions to celebrate with us out here in Crooked Creek and in Pincher Creek, and how special was that? And I have many great photos too of us all gathered together with Alex. So special.
It's really good haggis.
So I'll read from the second part of this book. My heart's in the Highlands, my heart is not here. My heart's in the Highlands, a-chasing the deer. Chasing the wild deer and following the roe. My heart's in the Highlands, wherever I go. Farewell to the Highlands, farewell to the north, the birthplace of valor, the country of worth. Wherever I wander, wherever I rove, the hills of the Highlands, forever I love. Farewell to the mountains high covered with snow. Farewell to the straths and green valleys below. Farewell to the forests and wild hanging woods. Farewell to the torrents and loud pouring floods. My heart's in the Highlands, my heart is not here. My heart's in the Highlands, a-chasing the deer, chasing the wild deer and following the roe. My heart's in the Highlands, wherever I go. For Robbie Burns and for Al. And I think the format of this little service is just terrific. And in the Red Book, I think all of them can be, it came to mind, just in every breath, wisdom and healing and laughter and joy in every breath. So,
Thank you.
That's great.
And we've talked about Alec and doing weddings and all of that, but also baptisms on Christmas Eve.
I was waiting for Light to tell us the story.
Oh, good. Okay, good. We're not having a hymn. We're just going right to light.
Okay.
So light has been a metaphor used throughout Scripture, and there's many scriptures. I'm just going to name a couple. Again, Jesus spoke to them. This is from John, saying, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life." And that was Alec. Abundant life. Life is good. And from Luke, your eye is the lamp of your body. If your eye is healthy, your whole body is full of life. The health, the healing that takes place that we're all called to do, aren't we? We're not just sort of spectators, Christian spectators, but we're involved in it. The final lesson, I guess, that I can share with you from Alec's ministry, what he taught me, is his belief that everyone has a light within them. And Alec's ministry was to bring that light out fully and abundantly. And I have a special note here that says, "Others speak."
So our relationship with Alex started kind of not long after we moved down here when Katrina was 1. She's now 10, so it gives you an idea of how long we've been here. And part of what happened was I have family in Toronto, so we christened Katrina in Toronto. But then our family that lives in Alberta, my husband's side is mostly in Alberta, and so his mom and Katrina's aunt weren't able to participate in that service in Toronto, so we phoned Alex up and we said, this is a little unconventional, but can you do you mind christening a child who's already been christened in the church? And in that spirit of welcoming and hospitality, he said, "Oh yeah," in his Scottish accent. I wouldn't even try it. No problem, absolutely, we're happy to do it. And it just so happens that Katrina is a summer solstice baby, June 21. So we thought it would be, and she had been baptized that fall in Toronto, so we thought, well, there's a Christmas service coming up. Alec at that time would come out for the Christmas service, so we thought we would have it. And of course, those of you who have had the pleasure of being here at Christmas know how dark it is. The service starts when it's pitch black, and then we slowly light candles, and we have the baptism with Katrina, and just kind of the light of my life, and certainly I know my husband's as well. And then, it's always dark and real candles. She was 18 months old and real candles in the church and all the hazards associated with that. And I heard somebody else kind of laughing about that as well. So that was very meaningful to us. And then on the drive home, carrying on with this theme of light, it was pitch black. It was an absolutely blinding snowstorm, as only there can be between here and our home in Pincher Creek. And I remember being in the car, we had the headlights on, but you can't have your brights on when it's snowing so hard because you don't see anything. And I kept telling my husband, I see elk, slow down, there's elk. Finally, he slams on the brakes in the snow and pitch black, and sure enough, there was the herds of elk crossing the road, and I just thought that was all fitting for, Alec into the Scottish Highlands and this park and the light, so thank you. So that was very special for us.
Great.
Thank you.
So literally the lights say these are gifts from Alex that he's left for us as long as they last, and hopefully we'll replace them if they fade. For 28 years, he had like about 3 dozen candles here, long being to the Christmas services. And he had a very dramatic way of, at one point during the service, all the lights went out, the candles went out, and the voice read in the darkness with a flashlight, Jack, I think, Bill, and so on, and the lights came on. So Bill Dolan, chief warden here for many years, wrote a lovely letter that'll go into the treasure album under Alec's section. And a direct quote here. We always enjoyed Alec's services. One of Debbie's favorite memories was the Christmas service with the nativity scene at the front of the church, the lights dimmed and so on. And as they came back on, there in the manger was a baby, a real baby. And Alec brought to life the birth of Jesus. And so in October, he'd be asking around, if there was a real baby at all. He really pulled that off all the time. It's astonishing. So on the display on the back there, you'll see Alec with his grandchildren and some of our children at that age with the lights. Now he had floodlights as well, and all the candles and so on. He had been an electrician, so he knew all about how to do that. We haven't managed the floodlights properly. But he in the little book of Christmas and Easter sermons, and there's a few there if you happen to want one. And are there more in Victoria, you think? Is still some?
No, they're posterity now, they're not for
Okay,
sale.
maybe you reprint?
We're working on book 2, actually.
So he explained why he did that, starting with probably in Saskatchewan.
We'll leave one
sure
for
it's
display, though. I suppose.
Pardon?
We'll leave one here for display.
Yes. He wanted it to be unforgettable, Christmas Eve with the lights, for all the little children there and for the child in all of us. And that's a definite, that was what he was about.
Let the babies cry, he'd
Yeah.
say, beginning of the Christmas Eve service. Just let them cry, or he wanted everyone to be a part of it.
Yeah. This isn't about light, but I just wanted to say 2 or 3 things that he, kind of nuggets. One was the open doors of Jesus Christ. I'd never really heard that before. That's what we were about. That's what we were about, saying yes. And also, here, blanking out, the United Church, where you don't have to leave your brains with your hat in the desk.
That's wisdom. Open hearts, open minds, open doors.
Right?
I think
I was just choosing. A hymn that we would often end the service with was "May the light of God shine on us today," and that was just biblically. And then on a lighter note, at a Christmas service that we attended once, I overheard a conversation, and it was Alex speaking to someone from the board here and saying that he really felt perhaps they needed a few more Christmas lights and that he would be happy to pick them up. And they said that would be great, and he said, "I'll bring you the receipt."
Yeah, good Scott. But what Christmas lights? So anybody else that would like to, maybe another aspect, those were just things that I had in mind from awesomeness of God down to light. Any other learning that you had from Alec? Because that's his legacy, really, is passing on to us the same.
Well, just one thing, I'm not blessed with the same metabolism, or maybe I haven't transcended his wisdom yet, but he just said, eat what you like, anything that you like, and enjoy it, and don't read anything about it. Just if you like it, eat it. And he lived to 93. I mean, he just seemed to not have a problem. I'm sorry, I can't do that. I need to attain that. But I mean, that's some wisdom. He just said your attitude about kind of what you consume and what you choose has so much to do with how your body reacts to stuff. And what he was saying is, you know, your attitude to what your choices are. You know?
Choice.
If you believe it, it's true, is what he said.
Yeah,
it's true to you, for sure.
That's great. That's just great.
A word about Hogmanay. It was, the boys here should be talking about Hogmanay, but we lived out on the edge of the coulee for over 30 years. Alec, when he learned that we were there, would come out on Hogmanay. No matter what other commitments he had, Alec would show up at Hogmanay and bring his pipes, and he would start at the top of the driveway. We lived on the edge of the coulee. It was usually snowing and foggy, and we think, I think Alec's going to make it out tonight, and we'd have a party out there, of course, and there'd be a dozen of us. And we could hear the pipes starting at the top of the road about, sometimes it was 12 o'clock, sometimes it was 12:30, sometimes it was 11:30. Every year we could count on him. He'd come out and he'd pipe down the coulee, and then we would, he had refreshed my memory about how this goes. Ed's listening very carefully. So we would go out our front door, which took us out into the courtyard, and pardon, the other way around. We'd go out the sliding door, we'd go out along the big captain's walk, you would call it. Coolies are out here. We would look down into Waterton Park, following the pipes, around the back and in through the front door. Now this is where it got dicey. Now in the front door, we had to have somebody carrying fuel, somebody carrying alcohol, liquid, sustenance, and then somebody else had some bread or something in. But the first guy through the door had to be fair-haired, right? So towhead had to go through the door, and then of course, and we're all the girls were out there in their New Year's Eve attire, but we were all out there freezing. Well, we waited for the towhead, probably me, to go through the door, and then Alec would pipe us in. And then, of course, then we had a glass of the Crater Tay and toasted the New Year, and then off he'd go to another party. And so when you tell me that he would come out and on Robbie Burns night and do the toast, it doesn't surprise me, because he was so true to his friends. He would drive across the country to pipe for you, or be at your service, or be with your friends, or console you at a time of loss or pain. But it was like you could count on him to be there for you, because that's just who he was. It's just a wonderful soul. But he loved his Armine, and he loved his haggis and his pipes, and we loved him and his brogue and his Scottishness, his Alecness, and we just loved him.
The light.
The light.
Are we ready? Yeah. We're going to sing the next one. With glasses. Voices United 87. People of God say, Amen. And let us say the Lord's Prayer together. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom
trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Please be seated. I think I've remembered most things. Have I forgotten anything, Carol?
She was going to say.
Yeah, well, I know that. Barb, were you going to, you had something to say. Now, it better be, but it better not break Sheena's heart. She won't sing.
It's too late. Jack did already.
Okay, well, that's out of the way.
Thank you. I'm the chair of the board, currently here at Waterton United Church, and very proud to be. And I just wanted to say a couple of things about Alec. I met him when he was offering his programs through McKillop and benefited greatly from those. And then he turned up here, so this is wonderful. And his open door philosophy and inclusiveness were very attractive to me. And I especially liked his sermon based on cast your bread upon the waters from Ecclesiastes. Because he believed, we had many conversations here, we'd sit outside in the sunshine and look down the valley, and he would talk about being open and inclusive and not hoop jumping. And that was the first time I heard that word. And he just didn't believe that people had to jump through hoops to come to the United Church or any church to receive that love of God. And in 2015, our Waterton United Church Council was very pleased to confer upon Alec the honor of being our minister emeritus. And this is something a congregation can do to honor a previous minister. God, believe me, it was our honor to do that. And I want to thank you, Alec, for your life and all of the love and healing you have shared so widely. Thank you for infusing your spirit into the Waterton United Church, a spirit which continues today in our mission and outreach.
How are we doing, Sheena? Are we okay?
Yeah.
One of the things that Carol and I talked about as we were putting the service together is, okay, we'll do our best, and it's subject to change without notice.
Yeah.
And so we said, I think Sheena should end with singing and bringing us together. So Sheena, what is your name?
Actually, no, but thank you. Yeah.
Sheena, can I take your phone and do a video of you?
Oh, I think we've got it there. Yeah, I'm sending this to Joy and the family, so we've got it live streaming there in case you were sort of wondering, but thank you. And we had talked about what a friend we have in Jesus. And Frank came up to me when I got here and said, when would you like to sing? And I said, oh, well, a little early on, I want to get too emotional. I don't want, He says, okay, we have you at the end.
The only thing that didn't change.
Yeah, he's got to. And we had talked about what a friend we have in Jesus. Dad just loved music, absolutely loved music, and he would love it when I would sing the kids we sang or hymns we sang as kids, and bring them to a new light. And so that was one of his favorites. However, in his last days, we gathered with him, and we couldn't sing enough for him. It would be one more song, and that's what we wanted. But when we had a sense, it was near the end. I took this song, Amazing Grace, and we just held his hand, and Joy had done his favorite prayer and his favorite song, and then I sang this, and he actually went on the last line of the last verse. So I'm going to sing a couple of the verses, and we'll return to the first one, just like I did that evening, around 9 o'clock at night. It was beautiful. It was really beautiful. And maybe I'll get you to join me in that last verse. That would be great. And thank you, Carol, for inviting me.
May the God of hope fill you with joy and peace, so that you abound in hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. And hear these words as you are sent out from this place. Go out